I used to play football in Hyde Park, where there's some game, and every Monday I go, first week was like, that was a weird show you did last night. And the second week, that was a really strange show you did last night. I said, I like that weird show you're doing.
People should not see this show. We didn't mind that so much, we sort of accepted that, but then suddenly it would be taken off for 3 weeks.
They would change the time, they'd pull us off, they'd do all of those things.
They would sit and watch this show, you had to watch it. And the fact that some weeks it wasn't there, and other weeks it was a different time, that was sort of testing your loyalty to the programme. So I think we built up a lot of people who were jolly well going to see Python, whatever the BBC did with it.
Time, please. Thank God. Yeah.
Well, the others had told me that I was recognised much more than them, but I am much taller and more handsome and more striking in general than they are. But they're a fairly nondescript, unattractive, chunky little bunch with all short legs and slightly overweight.
He was already a known star.
On the curtain and join the crowd invisible. This is an ex-parrot.
And for me, those are the wound up that he finds it almost impossible to say anything.
Master dirty red scum! Kick him in the teeth for it hurt, Tommies! I hate him, I hate him! Ah!
Cheese ready?
Coming down.
I kept telling John, you're a freak, relax. Why do you need psychiatrists in your life? Why do you have
to a lot of sort of Oxbridge performers brought up in Footlights and Review and all that, and he came from a kind of different tradition. So that was good.
Or criticism, because I just did something that was so different from the others. So when everybody would be reading out the material, it was always a fairly tense moment because people were trying to judge the moment to...
Terry Jones is Welsh, and he tries to hide the fact that his name gives it away. And what Terry's never been able to accept is that the Welsh subject people put, because he cared about everything. It didn't matter how tiny the detail. He really felt.
Tonight, I'd like to restate our position on to maintain consumer prices at a realistic level.
Terry is sort of like the energy, if he's probably the bowels of Python.
Together, positive and mutually beneficial alliance in world trade and world peace. Thank you and good night.
A forgotten man of the group, really. What's happened to him now? Disappeared into the Sahara and was never seen again.
Good day. Gosh, yes!
He used to come up with the best ideas, I think, or the best off-the-wall ideas.
I say!
Smoothly and easily. He's just funny. And it's in a very generous kind of funny. He's not nasty like I want myself. It's generous and it's great. And he seems to have an incredible range of characters.
Inspector, I'm terribly sorry, but I was sitting on a park bench over there, took my coat off for a minute, and then I found my wallet had been there at all. It's trouble.
Well, there's not very much we can do about that, sir.
And whenever I am mistaken for Michael Palin, I say, yes, I am Michael Palin. Now fuck off, you ugly old bastard. Because I'm trying to destroy his reputation for niceness, one person at a time.
Go in. What do you want?
I'd like to leave the army, please, sir.
Good heavens, man, why?
It's dangerous.
What?
There are people with guns out there, sir.
What?
Real guns, sir. Proper ones, not toy ones, sir. Proper ones, sir. They've all got them. All of them, sir. And some of them have got tanks.
Watkins, they are on our side.
And grenades, sir, and machine guns, please.
Watkins, you've only been in the army a day.
I know, sir, but people get killed. Properly dead, sir. No Barney cross fingers, sir. You have to go and fight.
That's true.
Well, I mean, blimey, if it was a big war, somebody could be hurt.
Watkins, why did you join the army?
For the water skiing and for the travel, sir.
Eric's contribution, a certain type of stuff he used to write, but he was tremendous.
Some people say, well, that may laugh, but only to there, and why don't we give that, shifted across, and you take that.
Eric is the one that should be the manager of the group.
Clean checks, hurt pieces of copper coinage thrust deep into trouser pockets, romantic foreign money rolling against the thigh with rough familiarity, beautiful wayward curly-cued banknotes, filigree copper grating cheek by jowl with tumbling hexagonal milled edges, rubbing gently against the terse leather of beautifully balanced banks.
I always think of myself as the wicket-keeper. Because the wicket-keeper is a very important role. You don't get this...
My normal voice, and then in a kind of silly, high-pitched whine.
Graham was just sort of frustrating because I never could make out who Graham was. He seemed to float through it, all sucking on that pipe day and night.
There was something about Graham, and it was...
Curry? And he was also an amazing sounding board. He's the only person I've ever come across who had such an extraordinary ability to say the audience will think it's funny. But he just didn't work properly. He should have been sent back to the factory and fixed, and then he would have been terrific.
You were, in fact, an alcoholic, were you?
Yes, I did a lot of drinking, a great deal, a very great deal indeed, Michael, yes.
You were an alcoholic?
Safely say, yes. I did do a very great deal.
Why was that, do you think?
Actually, that I was insecure. I didn't really feel that I'd deserved the success that I'd achieved, as it were. I think that was it. Who was laughing at that?
Yes.
Strange reaction. I'll come and sort you out later on.
Graham now had a really serious drinking habit, and I was the guy...
with Eric and all that, but it didn't really work. We basically stayed in our groups. But whatever the reason, I think John felt that Python had run its course.
I start to write, and all this stuff comes in. A little bit of it is about, you know, the Connaught and King Arthur, and then another little bit is King Arthur in Harrods, and looking for the Grail in the Grail department, and there's other bits about boxing championship. It's a huge mismatch, and we put it away. We come back in 2 or 3 months, and it was clear on rereading that the interesting bit was Dale.
It's such a loose story that you can go in all sorts of directions. But at the end, you know, as long as we can resolve the ending, then we've got something which appears to be a good, strong narrative film.
Bring out today!
Favour?
I can't.
Well, can you hang around a couple of minutes? You won't be long.
No, I've got to go to Robinson's. They've lost 9 today.
Well, when's your next run?
Thursday.
I think I'll go for a walk. You're not fooling anyone, you know. Look, do something you can do.
I feel happy. I feel happy.
Ah, thanks very much. That's all. See you on Thursday.
Right.
Of course, Terry and I, the two desperate filmmakers who hadn't made films before, said, you know, anybody named Terry gets to direct this film, and everybody seemed to agree.
We're really learning as we do it. That's what's nice. We've been given a whole feature film to learn how to make films on.
Charlie, you come to this mark there, to where the
A sacred quest. If he will give us food and shelter for the night, he can join us in our quest for the Holy Grail. Well, can we come up and have a look?
Of course not. You are English type, sir.
Well, what are you then?
I'm French. Why do you think I have this outrageous accent, you silly king?
What are you doing in England?
Mind your own business.
This can't possibly be it.
We thought at the time, this God made us laugh, but we thought, hang on, we've got to decide how we deal with the character of Jesus. Do we make jokes about this, or do we have Jesus in the film but make the jokes somehow sort of separate from him?
And the interesting thing was we found out that Jesus Christ was not pervious to comedy. What's said in the Sermon on the Mount.
We wanted to focus on what was funny, and what is funny isn't what Jesus says. It's about how people
must bug to Christ. You know, people have constantly got the message wrong.
You hear that? Blessed are the Greek. The Greek. Well, apparently he's going to inherit the earth. Did anyone catch his name?
So then, however it was, the idea of having an alternative person who lived exactly the same life at the same time but wasn't Jesus, but was this Messiah.